We've all seen them, right? The online gurus promising $10,000 a month with zero effort, usually while leaning against some rented sports car. Well, today, we are completely cutting through that noise. In this explainer, we're breaking down a highly practical blueprint from our source material that strips away all that toxic hustle culture hype. Instead, we're going to focus exclusively on the absolute fundamentals of generating your very first digital income. So, here's our game plan for today. We'll kick things off with the first $100 mindset, then we'll explore 6 proven paths to actually making that money online. After that, we'll cover how to avoid those nasty mistakes and scams, map out a concrete 30-day roadmap for you, and finally, look at what comes next. All right, let's dive into part 1, the first $100 mindset, and why hitting this specific milestone matters more than anything else. Now, you might be wondering why just $100, because aiming for 10 grand on day one is exactly how people get completely paralyzed and end up quitting. Earning that first realistic $100, that is the ultimate proof of concept. It literally rewires your brain to understand how digital value is actually created, because it proves to you that real people will exchange real money for something you can provide. To get there, though, you have to completely abandon what we'll call the lottery ticket mentality. The internet is not a giant slot machine where you just pull a lever and cross your fingers for overnight crypto riches. Instead, you need to treat this whole thing as an experiment. You are quite literally putting on a lab coat, testing your specific skills, and seeing if you can actually solve a real problem for a real person. And this experiment, it follows an exact predictable loop. First, you find a genuine problem someone has. Then, you create a solution that offers real value. Next, you reach out to the folks dealing with that problem, make them a super clear offer, get paid, and then, honestly, this is the best part, you just repeat the whole process. It's a reliable, repeatable system of value exchange. No fancy downtown office required. Moving into part 2, 6 paths to online income. Now that we've got the basic framework down, it's time to choose your weapon. How do we actually execute this? Our source material outlines 6 distinct, highly legitimate paths you can take. You really don't need to reinvent the wheel here or build the next huge tech unicorn. You just need to pick one of these proven avenues. Let's actually break down a few of the most reliable ones right now so you can see exactly how they function in the real world. Let's look at freelancing first. The brilliant takeaway here is that clients honestly do not care about your resume, and they definitely don't care about your college degree. They only care if you can actually do the job. So by creating just 2 or 3 high-quality sample projects, maybe you edit a couple short-form videos for a mock client or write a sample newsletter, you instantly prove your worth. You're turning a raw skill directly into a service. Now, if you're leaning toward digital products, the absolute secret is to start small. Actually, scratch that, start incredibly small. Avoid that massive trap of trying to build a comprehensive 200-page masterclass right out of the gate. Trust me, nobody wants to buy that from a beginner anyway. Instead, build a simple, highly focused template or spreadsheet that solves one very specific, immediate headache for a customer. Create it once, scale it effortlessly. What about affiliate marketing? Well, just randomly blasting out links to high-commission products is a very quick way to fail. Your true underlying currency in this space is audience trust. If your content is genuinely about video editing, promoting a great editing software makes perfect sense, right? But pushing a completely unrelated dietary supplement just to make a quick buck, yeah, that just burns your reputation straight to the ground. And then there's AI. Let's be brutally honest for a second. AI is not some magic money-printing machine that just does all the work for you while you're napping. The real value is being the human quality control behind the AI. If you use AI tools to quickly transcribe and cut short clips for a local business, but you are the one providing that creative human polish, that is an incredibly lucrative, highly demanded service. Okay, part 3, avoiding mistakes and scams. Because as exciting as those different paths are, the digital landscape is basically a hidden minefield for eager beginners. The absolute biggest dream killer out there is shiny object syndrome. Look, we've all been there. You try to start a travel blog, a YouTube channel, and a dropshipping store all on the exact same Tuesday, buying 5 different domain names for businesses you haven't even started. You have to ruthlessly apply the rule of 1. Stick to exactly one path for one audience, solving one single problem for 30 straight days. Focus is going to be your absolute best friend here. You also need to know how to spot a trap from a mile away. As you can see, legitimate online business requires real skills, time, some capital, and an actual audience. Your income is based directly on the value you provide. Scams, on the exact other hand, will always promise guaranteed overnight returns with zero risk, or, and this is a big one, they'll ask for some upfront unlock fee to access your own earnings. If it sounds like a magical push-button solution, run the other way, fast. All right, let's get into part 4, your 30-day roadmap. This is where all the theory we've been talking about finally becomes a reality. This specific timeline right here is gold. It transforms a chaotic, vague dream into a reliable day-by-day schedule. Think of it like this. Days 1 to 3, you just lock in your chosen skill and target audience. Done. For the rest of week 1, put your head down and build your sample. By week 2, you're already knocking on virtual doors and distributing that sample. Week 3, that's all about analyzing the feedback you get to sharpen your offer. And week 4, you completely ignore all the outside noise and double down exclusively on whatever got the best response. Which brings us to our final section. Part 5. What comes next? You survived 30 days, you put in the hard work, and you made your very first transaction. Now what do you do? Here is a massive takeaway from this explainer, and it's the ultimate secret to scaling that most beginners completely miss. That first $100 you make, it is not spending money. Don't go blow it on a nice dinner. It's data. It is hard, undeniable proof that your specific system actually works and that someone out there is willing to pull out their credit card for your solution. That transaction is the green light you've been waiting for. So once you have that golden data, you scale incrementally. First, you analyze exactly what produced the income. Was it a specific email template? A certain type of client? Figure that out. Second, you improve your portfolio based entirely on that real-world interaction. And third, you slowly raise your pricing as your skills naturally level up. It's quiet, it's totally unsexy, but man, it is the most incredibly reliable way to build towards your first $500 or $1,000. To wrap this all up, everything we've unpacked today really comes down to one single defining question. And I want you to answer this for yourself before your head hits the pillow tonight. What is the one specific problem you are going to solve for someone this month? Seriously, are you going to keep treating the internet like a lottery ticket, or are you finally ready to run your first real experiment? The blueprint is right here. Now it's up to you.